Okay. We are back, and it is early. 7 o'clock start. We have to get on track. Yesterday was a long day. A very long day. We pushed straight past midnight, just getting the fields, and not even all the fields, but some of the larger fields plowed, and then a few of those stone picked. Today on the docket we have seeding of our 2 fields, maybe some lime, maybe some fertilizer, and then maybe some more plowing of the animal pens, but we'll have to see how time passes. Speaking about time passing, one thing that has changed is we have bumped down our game speed from 5 to 3x. That's going to allow me to do more things in the daylight. Realistically, it's a one-man shop, it's a one-man operation, and not having to fight against the clock too much. It's gonna be good. Maybe one day, maybe in December, once things kind of slow down, I can spend some time making that ramp a little smoother. It doesn't look too bad from a distance, but when you're on it, it really throws you around. We have our fertilizer and our seed all ready for us. And we should get right to that. Also, another thing I fixed is I figured out what I was doing wrong with the autonomous robot. Marty's settings were all messed up, and that's my fault. And I left all the things out on the field. But that's okay, because we just need the things in here. Yeah, I had Marty's settings all over the place. I fixed it. He was running last night. And I'll show you guys what I did in case you guys are in a similar situation as me yesterday. Truthfully, it's a simple fix. I'm surprised the game even works that way, but it is what it is. And that's one of the things with mods, is that you really have to sometimes understand what you're doing to use them properly. This is all a learning lesson, so I learned, you learned, join along with me, and we'll all learn together. But let's get loaded up. Let's see how much this fills. I'm actually not fully sure how much seed holds in this, I don't want to call it a seed cart, but in this middle portion. Ooh, maybe all the bags will fit in here? I was kind of hoping not to use a ton of seeds. But it doesn't really matter how much we pick up. More so matters how much we end up planting. That's the bigger issue. Because if I can hold all of these bags, 8 bags, 1,000 each, I believe. If I can hold all the bags, that's one thing. But if I only take 25% of the bags to seed, then that's great. So 7,620 liters of seed stored in the middle compartment there. And I'm going to try to tackle the bigger field first. But before I get this field all seeded, let's get Marty fired up again. Get back the plow. Other side. Back him up. Back him up. And let's get going. So, the issue I had was that the broken threshold was set to 0%. After a little bit of reading, I read that 100% is off, and I had it set to 0. Now, if 100% is off, I don't understand what 0% would actually mean, and why you'd even want to have it in the setting. But I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it. It's fixed. No big deal. I will get plow in here. Just set him up perfectly. Or at least good enough for horseplay to take the wheel. We have him facing clockwise. I want to give him 2 to skip. We'll see if that makes much of a difference. And ideally, I want him going north-south. Longest edge. Longest edge. Is that the longest edge? Okay, hey. If the AI robot thinks so, then I will take it as so. I'll also finish back on this side. That's fine. Then I'll swing over to those 2 fields. And the road. Oh, okay. Let's turn that off. Okay. Folded. Of course. I hate reversing these things, but I think that got the job done. Fire it up. Fire it up. Around. Okay. We are seeding, if I'm getting it all. Let's do a little bit all over the place. It's just a headland. It's okay. Let's set up our GPS. And away we go. So yeah, beside those 2 fixes, 3 times speed instead of 5, and then the autonomous robot, or more so better said, the horseplay fix, everything is as it was set up last game. While I'm here plowing or seeding this field, just gonna give a quick little breakdown of how I'll be calling these fields. So I'm currently on field 7, 10, and 13. I'm going to refer to that as the lower strip. Above that, 8, 11, and 14, that's the middle strip. And then north of that still is the upper strip, 9, 12, and 15. Those fields are each 15 acres or maybe a little bigger. But 15 acre fields. And if I'm really needing to get a lot of product of one type, I'll throw something down in there. Below those, and I'll bring it back up with the PDA shortly. But below that we have two essentially cubes, almost perfect 1-by-1 ratio of fields. I'm going to call those cubes. It'll be the upper cube and the lower cube. Currently, right now, if this is the lower strip that I'm seeding, the upper cube is what I'm then going to go seed with wheat once I'm done seeding this field here. Yeah, so fields 5 and 6 are the upper cube. Fields 3 and 4, that's the lower cube. And then I'll just call field 1 and field 2 boxes, upper and lower, kind of following that same naming structure. But yeah, that's pretty much the recap of where we've been and what we have to do. After I seed these two fields, I might go ahead and roll them, lime them, and spray them with fertilizer if I can get that all done today in the month of October. If not, I can always fertilize next month. I just really got to get the seed down, because that is a time constraint. But yeah, I'll get all this wrapped up, and I'll see you guys when I'm done seeding this field. Okay, and we are done planting seeds in the lower strip. There's a small little edge that I missed on this southern edge. I'm just gonna go over it now. Yeah, it took me about 45% of my tank's capacity, so I think that's pretty good. Another thing that I did while I was seeding this field was I bought the soil information for all the fields. Unfortunately, I'll show you guys here in a second. Unfortunately, this entire area is one plot. So if you look on the little tab there on the left hand side, that first line, soil samples, $56,875. I was hoping to do it in chunks and to break it up, but I had no choice. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me if I need to create fields in the animal pens. But once again, it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about it, and worst case scenario, I'll just go ahead, especially for those animal pens, if I, gotta turn this on. If I need to, I will just go buy one of those Azario Scouts, making a mess of this. I'll just go buy one of those Scouts, and I'll do it manually. So Marty's still down there, tackling the lower cube. Doing a pretty good job. I think he's about halfway done that. Then we'll start a new GPS map. Yeah. Once I'm done seeding this, I'm gonna go ahead and roll it. Maybe get some lime down immediately. Doing pretty good. Yesterday's episode, I felt like I was running out of time. I felt rushed. Just lowering it to 3x makes it feel a lot more manageable. Now I don't want to go... Am I missing strips? I'm probably missing strips. I'm just going to do this line again. I don't want to drop below 3x. And realistically, if I need to, instead of going 10x or 15x, I'll just get what I can done, and I'll sleep through the rest. This entire challenge will be done on 3 or 5x, and I think that's understandable. But especially once some of this initial field prep is done, 3x should be plenty, and then even 5x should be manageable. Here's some good strips. Oh yeah, he's doing strips, skipping 2 in the middle, so he has more than 50% to go. This seeder, by the way, is fantastic. It has a working speed of 23 or 24 kilometers an hour, which just makes it fly. And then with the seed rate, with precision farming turned on, it's pretty good. I'm not eating up too much seed. I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, so that lower strip was mainly low seeding, a little bit of high, and a bit less of standard. I was really hoping this green blob, just in that 7 area, was going to kind of creep down throughout this upper cube, but I can already tell it's not going to do that, which is kind of annoying in terms of how much seed I'll be using, but not the end of the world. I'm going to have to buy more seed to get this initial harvest, like the harvest that I'll do next summer, done. And then I'm really hoping, regardless of what the seeding requirements are, just be able to do all the seeding I need from seeds I create myself. I should kind of keep track, and I'll try to do that in my head. But essentially, if this thing holds, let's call it 65, I might as well just check. So, Where is it? Cedars. Yeah, see, it says 11,000, but it's not. All of its capacity isn't for seed. I think if I remember correctly, it was 7,620. So we'll call it 7,500 just for my easy memory. And then we'll just see how many fields I can get seeded. And then how much seed I should be trying to reproduce next harvest. If I take a look at my productions, seed, I can see that for 1,000 seeds, I need 1,000 wheat and more, 100 liters of herbicide and 250 liters of water. So that might really be a limiting factor. If I'm having to put a lot of my wheat towards seed, I might also need to start considering making more wheat. Maybe one of the boxes down there, either the upper or the lower box, might just be dedicated to seed reproduction. But once again, I'll get a much better idea once the first harvest is complete, and then again once I get my first batch of fields seeded or planted. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this up, and I will catch you guys all on the flip side. See you in a bit. Okay, so we are wrapping up seeding on the upper cube. Marty has also just finished. Oh, of course. Why would I pick up early? Okay. Marty has also just finished plowing the lower cube. And while I was putting this wheat down, I was also thinking, I know we may have to have a small box, either the lower or the upper box, kind of dedicated just for seed production, as I mentioned. But I was also thinking, maybe if these animal domes are big enough, I might be able to put wheat with the chickens and use that as chicken feed, and maybe also as seed production. I just want to drive over real quick and see what the area is like. I know I'm going to put grass down with the sheep, pigs, and cows. But maybe I can use this room here. I swear I keep hearing like a radio sound when I drive around. Let's drop that. Let's get this door open. Then we might as well get this door open as well. Yeah, like this is a lot of room. See if I can measure it out. So mind you, I started my counter at the door, and I wouldn't get it that close. But It's almost 100 by 100, so it's almost the size of a field itself. Let's turn that off. Okay. Let's go grab the plow. Let's turn this off. I really should be saving those. But if anything, I could just do a large save. Like a save day where I just go ahead along, maybe in December, and I just start creating fields. Even if I'm not using them immediately, I might just start creating them, saving them. Now the thing about putting wheat in a dome is that I'm going to need to be able to get to the chickens, to and from the chickens, while the wheat is growing without rolling it over. So I need to think about how I plan to plant or seed any of these. So I'm just going to leave Marty here out of the way. His engines can cool down for a bit. And then let's grab this plow. Good thing here is that if I make any mistakes, I can always just terraform back in some grass. Oof, I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Okay. So, first things first, let's think about how I'm going to get in and out. So, I have a trailer. I'm picking up eggs. I can drive the trailer up and around here. Then I can back in. Drop my feet off, and I swing around there to pick up my eggs. Okay. First things first, I might as well make a straight line this way. And I'll also leave a little room around the edge if I want to exit that way. Okay, let's just go ahead and start. Drop that. Seems like enough room. I actually wish it was a lot straighter. I'm gonna have to redo that one. But for now, let's pick up right about here. Oh, let's go a little further. Right about there. Might as well drop this down, drag it along. I want this line to be straight. think that's much better. Shift it over just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to try to follow the curve of this dome. Out and around. So if I keep my right side kind of in that shadow, well, that's not going to work. The shadow definitely moves in relation to the edge. But we'll start with this. We'll see how that is. Now, after I finish plowing this, and it's to my preferred dimensions, I'm also going to have to go and pick up the stones and get it seeded, just like I did the other 2 fields I've done so far. Around 10 o'clock in the day, I should have enough time to get all that done. Turn it around. We'll tie it in just like that. Okay, let's go see how that looks. We'll do a quick drive around. I'll use my plow as a rough measuring device. So that is good. That is pretty good. Gets a little wide. Pretty good, pretty good. A little wide there, but not gonna. No, that's definitely a little wide. Like I could definitely take some off of that. So let's go over. Let's drop down. Just take a little bit of that back. Okay, so let's start measuring from here again. This is a little bit of a tight spot, but should be fine. Obviously, all of this is good. I can use some of that area for storage. And then we get back to our wheat area. This is all pretty good. I'm happy with that. Happy, happy, happy. This area is still a little wide. Now that straight line needs to be a bit more curved. If I can do this without having to spray any grass down. Good. Here, that looks good. I'll just do this all manually, that's fine. And yeah, this is all going to be wheat. Hopefully it recognizes the field and gives me some good field info on it. And then I'll be able to know if this amount of land is technically worth turning into a wheat field. Okay, I'll see you guys when I've done this. Okay, done creating a field in the chicken pen, the chicken dome. Do one last drive around. Yeah, this narrow spot, fine. We have room to store anything chicken related if needs be. Access to all of our dump and fill points. Then another ring to exit so that there's no need for awkward U-turns or anything like that. Okay. So that's done there. Thankfully the stone picker isn't too far. I'll go and get this field stone picked. There should be a ton of stones in here. Let's see how many stones are in here right now. Perfect. 1%, that's doable. I'm sure that will be doable. Get you lowered. For my sake, tracking the right bit, I'm going to start at this edge. But yeah, just go through this. I kind of wish that was a little further. I might widen that just a smidge. Realistically, it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, just get all this done. And once again, I'll see you guys when it's done. Okay, one last pass, and this should be all stone picked. Okay, so that might need not a reset, but me loading back into the game. Does see it to some degree as a field already. Plowed. What are those two dots? That's gonna drive me crazy. Bottom right corner. I'm not going to worry about it now. There are no stones here, that's good. Still doing that weird field thing. Oh, this is good. One extra field If I need to touch up 2 spots on it later on, I will. Now, one thing I don't know is how this tiny area is going to manage with my cedar. But we'll make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I have the will. I can get past this part without much headache. The rest should be walking the park, and I don't know if that's close enough. I almost thought I had it on the first try. That would have been too easy. I might just do spirals all the way in. If I attach back here, and then slide over slightly, I'll just keep my tractor wheel. And these shadows are not helping. If I just keep my tractor wheel slightly on the inside, I should have plenty of overlap. And I'll touch up anything at the end. Man, I cannot see where I already seeded to save my life. Okay, let's get this done. I think we'll leave it unfolded. We'll turn it off though. Oof. Just one little spot. Hopefully it's this area right here. Yes, okay. Okay, so cloud, stone picked, and seeded. Now I need to roll 3 fields. And essentially that's going to be it for wheat. Outside of that, it's barely noon right now, but outside of that, I'll probably finish plowing and stone picking all of these fields during the month of October. Yeah, that's fine. Because I need to back these 2 back into there separately. I might as well leave them separated. stored this all properly. Perfect. Get that hooked up. And let's get it out to our big field. Our lower strip. Both gas and def are about halfway through. And we've been using this tractor a good bit, so I'm not too upset about that. Since getting here, we spent about $100,000 on things that we needed to buy. Be good. 12 kilometers an hour. Not the best, but it's a pretty wide implement, so hopefully I won't be doing this field for too long. Okay, we got a lot on our plate today, so I'm gonna get these all rolled out. That being the top strip, the upper cube, and then the chicken field. 12 kilometers an hour. It's gonna take a while, but once again, it's a part of the journey, so I'll see you guys when these are all wrapped up. Okay, and we are done this field. Chicken field rolled. Now let's see what this looks like on the PDA. Make sure I didn't miss any spots. Ah, missed a few spots. Okay, oof. Okay, let's hit those. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find these actually. I think there was one along this bottom portion. Yeah. Then there was two over here. And then just finally one last little bit. way too far. I think I see it though. Yeah, right there. Now realistically, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm sure it would have been fine just the way it is. But I noticed that I got the time. Might as well make the correction. Now what I may not be able to correct is that one little... No, I'm not going to deal with that. Okay, so fields are seeded and rolled. We have Marty over there on the upper blocks doing his thing. Do we have time to line? 3 p.m. We should have time to line. Let's go drop this off, pick up the lime spreader, load it up, and get spreading. I really gotta put all these things back. Okay. Off to the line. Pickup. So once we get these fields limed, we should be good to start prepping the other fields. That means stone picking off the top and middle strips, the lower cube, and then both of the, what do you call those things again? Both the boxes, fields 1 and 2. Let's see how much this costs me. This is going to be a big deal breaker if it gets really expensive. If we're unable to maintain like our budgets because we're spending so much money on material, whether that be seeds, fertilizer, gas, DEF, anything like that, it's really going to impact how well. It's actually not too bad. 4.5 grand for a full 14,000 liters of lime. What does that convert to? Lime. 320. Okay, so it's not significantly cheaper than buying it at the store. If at all. But more than that, let's see how far it can get us. pH value actually isn't terrible right now. Hopefully I can do this entire field in no more than 2 baskets and no more than 2 full spreader loads. But yeah, I'm going to get this done, and I will see you guys once it's complete. Okay, and the liming is complete. Just got this. Hopefully I can get this last little patch here. No. Ah, that's kind of annoying, but it's one of the reasons why I don't like using fertilizer spreaders, and I prefer to use fertilizer sprayers. Like if I come back on this field, see if I can open up the map, and if we go to precision farming, oh wow, I didn't even notice that while I was spraying. This field is not, oh no, data found, are you kidding me? See, this is the issue with it all being one ginormous field. Okay, well, I will make the corrections later by purchasing one of those Izaria scouts. I know we spoke about it earlier, but I just didn't go out and do it. That's pretty annoying. I'm just gonna leave this here. It ended up taking me 4 full truckloads, or spreader loads, of fertilizer, and I still have 10,000 left. So that's about $18,000, just over $18,000, and 3 of my, how many fields do I have now technically? 3, 5, 7, 8 including the chicken field. Did I count that right? 3, 5, 7, 9, 10 including the chicken field. Well, it ended up taking me a good amount of lime just to get a third of my fields done. But truthfully, today has been a pretty productive day. All of my fields are plowed. I currently have Marty over there picking up stones. I'll probably take over from him and then just finish up stone picking this field. Is he set to round? He might be set to round. So I'll have a little cleanup to do here on the corners. But yeah, it's been a good day. If I switch over to this view, my PDA, perfect, he's actually almost done. And with that being said, I'll wait for him to get to the end. But, yeah, he still has a little bit of room left. Let's hop him. Perfect. Dump that here. Turn him off. Just park him there. And we'll do a little bit of cleanup. So something else that is about to happen in the dome once again, and I'm glad I won't have to deal with it, but it's about to rain again. While I was liming my fields, I noticed in the top little strip there that rain was incoming. And after dealing with rain yesterday, I truthfully do not want any part of it again. Grab that stone. And then I'm gonna dart down, and there's just one at the top right corner of this lower box. Yeah, I don't want any part of rain. I did look into it, did a little scientific research, you may say, and I figured out that it does indeed rain and kind of snow on Mars. And mind you, I'm no world-renowned scientist, so I'm not sure exactly the scientific ins and outs of how it rains and how it snows, but from my quick searching around, I realized that it doesn't rain or snow on Mars the way we are familiar with rain and snow on Earth. To keep it simple, the atmosphere on Mars is way too thin for traditional snow to fall, and likewise for traditional rain to fall. That being said, it has snowed, to my understanding, on Mars before, but realistically, temperatures going down to 155 degrees Celsius and roughly 225 degrees Fahrenheit, and with the thin atmosphere that Mars has, it essentially just crystallizes and falls, but not as snow. Not as snow. If you want more details, I recommend you checking up on it yourself, because it's a little interesting if that's something you're into. And with highs of 20 degrees Celsius, roughly 7 degrees Fahrenheit, it is definitely warm, not super hot on Mars, and it's not like any going to the wrong location. So it's a nice warm temperature at its hottest, but I am gonna be taking snow off. I'm not even interested to see what this map does with snow after experiencing what we did yesterday in September. But yeah, I'll make that change, and I'll actually do it now. Snow off. Now I can't prevent it from raining on the map, so we'll just continue to play it as if the moisture in the air, because there is still moisture on Mars, the moisture in the atmosphere is somehow collected by the dome, and then the dome, for purposes of agriculture, cleans it and is able to drop it through the dome structure down into the dome. It helps the crops, it helps the people living here feel a bit more like they're at home on Earth, so I will play it that way. But snow is off, rain will remain. But we do know that rain will severely impact our operation, so in addition to not raining in harvest time, I will also not be doing any operation realistically while it rains. At least nothing on the fields, maybe moving things around, and depending on how long it's raining, might have to just kind of work around it. But that's gonna be essentially it. We have the majority of our fields done. I'll pick back up tomorrow when it is November, and I'll fertilize the fields during their first stage of growth. While I'm doing that, I'll have Marty continuing to stone pick, and we'll just kind of keep trucking along. Once again, we have a good little ways to go until we get to our first harvest. So after I fertilize, I might as well hook the fertilizer up to this. But after we fertilize, we'll then go on and probably create at least three more fields of grass in the 3 animal pens. Those animal pens that are still open and available to us are cows, sheep, and pigs, because the chickens have wheat. So yeah, we'll create grass fields in the cow, sheep, and pig pens. I'm not even gonna start thinking about planting 1,000 trees. That's something that I'll definitely do at a later point. Hopefully we can fit 1,000 trees behind those trees, and I won't have to worry about putting anything up on the upper ridge. What I should do now, though, as well, is I'm just gonna stop here. I need to order myself a tanker. Something that can hold water, and ideally something that can hold oil. And I need to place that order so that it is ready to pick up as soon as possible. Animals. I hate these dollies. They are impossible to reverse, but it might just have to do for now. I could put it on an IT runner pack. 8,000, 25,000, and hold the same. But then that means I have to then buy an IT runner pack. But that only holds water. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I will order one of these. Another $25,000. Wow. We are quickly running out of money. This first harvest, unless the grass that I start planting ideally next month, unless the grass is able to really make some money, we're gonna run into some issues real quick. yeah, once again, this is going to be it for this episode. Once again, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please consider giving me a like, a subscribe, and leave any comments you might have for me down there in the comment section. This has been Farmer Big Z, and I'll catch you guys next time.